Well, it's a pleasure to welcome our next guest back to GCR. Obviously, great news for everybody as he just signed a new 3-year deal to remain a Baltimore Raven. He is Ravens wide receiver Rashod Bateman, and he's back with us now on the program. Rashod, it's Glenn in Baltimore. It's great to chat with you, man. Thank you for taking the time for us, and congratulations.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate you having me on.
Hey, man, it's great to chat with you. Can you just sort of walk me through what this means to you to get another deal done? I know there have been, ups and downs and twists and turns and everything like that, but ultimately for it to come out with you having some comfort and knowing you're going to be a Raven for a little while, what does that mean to you?
Bro, I mean, it feels good. Definitely didn't see it coming. Um, but definitely meaning a lot, made history, with the Ravens organization. So, just knowing that they want me here and having them in my corner, having the team trust me, having some type of security, it's kind of like a fresh start for me all over again. So, I'm definitely, excited, looking forward to it. I got a lot to prove, you know. So I'm excited.
It's interesting to hear you say those things, right? Because like we know what you're capable of, like we know that, and we've seen it. And obviously we've seen unfortunately times where you've been open and the ball just hasn't come your way, and that's what it is. What do you feel like you have to prove to yourself when you say I have a lot to prove? What do you feel like you have to prove to yourself, Rashad?
Obviously, I mean, I feel like I proved to myself that I can play in this league. Just by going out there and
Yeah,
playing and actually get on the field. But um, I think I want to prove to myself that I can actually, be a star, be a
yeah,
player, be someone the team can, depend on, reliable. I've been that. But my career, took some hits, some ups and downs.
yeah.
But I'm in a good spot right now. I feel good. I'm healthy. Excited. All my chips in the basket. So it should be a good year.
It's interesting when you use the words fresh start, right? Like it's fascinating to me because I feel like there's obviously everything in front of you, right? Like there is a real chance for you to go out and be a Super Bowl champion and to become a breakout star receiver in this league. Have you ever doubted that was going to be in Baltimore? Like, were there ever moments for you, with all the outside noise, where you said to yourself, I just wonder if it might not work out here ultimately?
Oh yeah, for sure. And it doesn't have anything to do with Baltimore technically. It just has everything to do with my injury history coming into
Yeah.
the league and my stats and performance. I don't blame anybody for feeling how they feel. The Ravens fans, the coaches, I feel like they have the right to feel that way. I was a first round draft pick, and there's expectations, but that's for them to live and decide. I don't go by those standards. I live by my standards and what the Lord has blessed me with and what He laid out in front of me. So um, those were the cards that I got dealt, and it was tough. I never been through it before, but um, it definitely made me stronger. Obviously, made me appreciate the game more than I did before. Um, but yeah, it's definitely a fresh start for me with these past 2 years. Going first 2 years going how they going, and then
Yeah.
last year was kind of iffy and up and down. But yeah, man, I think the only person I have to prove anything to is myself. I feel like everybody know what I can do. So I just got to go out and do it now.
It's interesting. Rashad Bateman is with us, the most stylish member of the Baltimore Ravens, with us here on GCR. Rashad, it's interesting to hear you say that. Like that perspective is really refreshing, and I'll admit to you, and I think everybody that knows in this market, I am an unabashed Rashad Bateman fan, and I am extraordinarily defensive of you when it comes to like callers and things like that. But
I appreciate that.
I mean, and I feel like we shouldn't have to be like everything that you do are things that I like. But it's interesting that you have that perspective of like it's okay by you because I feel like some people it would be very personal to them. Like, what's wrong with you? But the fact that you say, "Hey, I don't, I get it. If you feel a certain way, I understand that." Did it require something for you to have that type of mental, thought process that you didn't have to worry about what people were saying about you and you could block all that stuff out and say, I'm just going to worry about me.
I mean, it definitely took some getting used to,
Yeah.
for sure. I feel like I didn't always have this mindset. I feel like after year two, um, it kind of hit me that it is what it is. They say what they say, whether it's fans, reporters, coaches, family members. To me, I feel like they all fall up in the same category. as a player, you got to be able to lock in, block out all noise, whether it's a fan, a reporter, a coach, your brother, your sister, whoever. You just got to be able to, be elite and have that mental battle, that mental strength to be able to go out and perform at a high level all the time. With my injuries, that affected me. It affected my play.
Mm-hmm.
It affected how I attack the game. And you can't explain it to everybody. You can't explain the play calling to everybody. You can't
Sure.
explain injuries to everybody. You can't explain business to everybody. You can't explain it to everybody, bro. And what I learned, man, I'll be wasting my time if I if I try to do that. So I feel like anybody would, and it's not just with football; it's with any conversation. But it is what it is. I trust my coaches. My coaches trust me. It's hard to get everybody the ball when you got players like that on the field,
That's
man.
fair.
Yeah, so it was a first year for everybody. I think the Ravens, as an organization, we did good last year. Really good for what we had, and we're just looking to continue to build off that.
What? I'm going to use the word disconnect, but maybe it's not the right word, and so maybe you can give me a better word to use for what. How do we translate the part where we see on film constantly how open you are, the routes that you're running, and I think a lot of people want to say, well, is there a disconnect between he and Lamar? But we've heard more and more about your guys' relationship and how defensive he is about you. How does it go from, hey, I think I'm doing the right things, I'm running the right routes and getting open, to that being more deliverable in terms of the performance and statistics, things like that?
I mean, there's a lot that goes into it. There's really not too much that I could talk about now. I'll probably talk about it later in my career. But even from a football perspective, I mean, as a coach, it's a lot that goes into it. Especially, I mean, you got Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews. I mean, taking me out of the situation,
Yeah.
you still have multiple guys on the field that you have to try to spread the ball out to. And it's hard to do that, from the football perspective. So, the coaches do the best they can, players do the best they can, and, the results are the results. But as far as me and Lamar, Lamar trusts me. I've trained with Lamar. I've worked out with Lamar, but, last year we did not have that connection, and that's due to me and my injury. I wasn't able to train with him in the off season.
Okay.
How I have the first 2 years. I missed all the training camp. And for a quarterback, I mean, it's tough. I mean, it's a feeling thing. You got to know your receivers. You got to feel your receivers. And, me just coming back, it kind of threw everybody else, off schedule, and it changed the game plan. So, hopefully we got a better, game plan and routine and things that we can, go to and stick to, that will help us be better this year.
Are you going to be able to spend more time with him in the lead up to the season this year?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool, and I that goes a long way. There's no doubt about it. What can you walk me through, like, what, now that you've been around for 3 years with him, what have you learned about him? Like, you probably knew a ton because, I mean, it's Lamar Jackson we're talking about, right? Like, literally a pop culture figure. That maybe you didn't even know when you first got here. What have you most learned about Lamar and what makes him special and what makes him tick, and how he drives guys around him?
I just think it's his personality. I feel like a lot of guys, I mean, I think a lot of guys know it now since he's been in the league longer. You could tell by his personality, how he talks to the media and to people. He's a very humble guy, down to earth, love to have fun. He cares about his teammates. He's always looking out for people. And his work and his play, speak for itself. But being able to be around a guy like Lamar that get hate and negativity, no matter what he does. I mean, he's a two-time MVP right now, and people are still talking shit about how he hasn't done this, he hasn't done that. I mean, bro, it takes 11 people to win a game. Tom Brady didn't win those Super Bowls by himself. Patrick Mahomes did do it by himself. They are phenomenal quarterbacks, and I'll never take that away from them. But I mean, if you're telling me that these people did it by themselves, man, good luck, Charlie. But I don't know, man. We all, cherish him, look up to him, and he definitely be leading us in the right direction.
I was talking to Arthur Millette a couple weeks ago, and he told me it took 5 days for him to even, like, leave his room after the AFC Championship game. Like, his buddies, his cousins, they were like, "Hey, bro, we're gonna go." He was like, "Nah, I'm not dealing with it." How long did it take for you to get over it? And how much do you feel like, especially now with a new deal, like, everyone is driven by what happened as you guys get into next season?
I think, I mean, as a team and as an organization, obviously, we're very hungry. We got real close to, um, the big prize at the end, and we fell short. So everybody, from coaches, from staff to nutrition, being back in the building, to everybody is really locked in and committed on, how to be better and how we can, take that extra, step. Because it's just little things, growing up, you always are told, do the little things right, and I feel like that never changes. So, I feel like we just got to go back, fix our craft and sharpen our tools and, come back this year, and apply them. That's what everybody do every single year. So we're just going to continue to do that and stack these days and, let the chips fall where they fall.
What was there anything having Odell around last season? Was there anything that you picked up from him? Was there anything that you have taken just from being around that dude every day and everything he's accomplished in this game that maybe has changed you or impacted you as a football player?
Yeah, definitely. Odell is is not the reason I play football, but when he came to the league, he became the idol that everybody looked up to, and I can honestly say he was the receiver. I never really idolized the receiver, in NFL until he came to the league. So being able to play on the same team as him during that time was cool for me, and it was a cool experience. But personally, me and O are tight now. I mean, he just called me the other day, congratulating me and checking in on me. But dealing with injuries, we're very similar when it comes to stuff, off the field, even when it comes to stuff on the field. Very similar in a lot of ways, and he was able to give me a lot of advice on what he's been through and how to stay strong through it all. And he definitely helped me get through last year because me and him was kind of in the same situation when it came to football things and the injuries and things like that. So he was definitely a helping hand for me. And, to be around Odell was very, very similar to like being around Lamar, seeing a guy, at that level, just continuing to stay true to themselves, be themselves, like no matter what, and, let the naysayers say what the naysayers say. Yeah, I mean, for a young guy like me, those two definitely I took a lot from and learned from.
That's cool, man. And he might be the only guy on the team that could have given you a run for money in the style department, right? Like that dude can
Yeah,
dress too,
I'll say so.
man.
Yeah, yeah. I think he started the whole, you know, fashion thing in the NFL. Like ever since Odell, blew up on the scene, I feel like everything from then has kind of enhanced for sure.
Yeah, man. It has changed everything. All right, let's get caught up with you away from the field. Everybody knows that you moved into the fashion world. Like, what is this? We saw you hanging out with some former teammates this offseason. What have you been up to away from football? How you been able to, like, decompress these last couple of months?
Bro, I've been laying low and chilling. I live in Arizona in off season.
Okay.
That's why I train at. I've been training there since I've been in the NFL. I did my pre-draft there, so I go there. My hometown is kind of small because not no resources back in Tiffin, so I just go back to Arizona where I know I got the right things where I can be successful. So I've been out there training, working on the clothing line with my friends. Um, and yeah, I did go to Texas. I saw James Prochet. I saw Deshaun Elliott. We all linked up for Deshaun's birthday, so it was definitely good to catch up with those guys. But yeah, it's just been a chill, business, like off season for me. Just laying down, working.
That's cool, man. And now that you get that second contract in Baltimore, like how much more driven are you to continue the connection that you've made with this city and to like continue to have roots in this city moving forward, like as someone that's going to be here for a long time?
I mean, I can't control that. I'm gonna continue to be me. The real ones, the real fans that I have here. I appreciate y'all. And the other ones, man, I apologize, I guess. But I'm gonna continue to work. I'm gonna continue to do my thing, and hopefully I get them back
Yeah.
on my side.
We,
But that's not why I play football. So I play it because I love it. I work for the Ravens organization. I want to do right by my teammates. I want to do right by my coaches. And the real ones are the real ones. The fake ones are the fake ones. So
I appreciate
um,
that.
Yeah, for sure.
And you know they're all going to be you know what's going to happen is after the first
Yeah,
touchdown catch next
I
year,
know
they're
it's
all
like,
going to tell you, they're all going to say, "Oh, dude, I was with you the entire time."
yeah.
You know how that goes.
It's
You
all trolls 2024 for me, so everybody better get ready.
Rashod Bateman. Bro, really happy for you, man. Happy for you, happy for the Ravens, happy for our city to have you around, and can't wait to see what's next for you, beyond just the football. Like, can't wait to see how you continue to deepen that relationship with us. And so, appreciate you. What is there anything we can plug for you?
Say that again,
Is
please.
there anything we can plug for you?
I think I'm all good right now, man. I
Awesome, man.
appreciate it.
Awesome, man. Rashod, thank you for taking the time for us this morning, man. We really appreciate it. Let's talk real soon, all right?
Sounds good. Appreciate it.